Pantelees.
And I am Nick.
Hi, Pantelees. And hi, Nick. How are you guys? My name is William. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So, are you ready for our interview to commence?
Yes, I'm ready. I understand you very clearly now, so yes, we can go ahead.
All right. Okay, we have some questions for your job, firstly. Now, tell us about your job.
So, I'll tell you about, let me go over a brief history about our company, and then I'll tell you what I do and what we do in a complete, as a group. So, well, you can also already see a couple of machines behind me in the picture. This is our kind of drilling rigs. So, our history started in 1919. So, we started out, we were founded by a mining engineer, and we were involved in making equipment for extraction of minerals, coal, and in this field of area. So over the years we further developed, and in the 60s we were very strongly involved in the coal industry, because this was a very coal-orientated country in Germany. But because of legislations and laws, this has changed, and in this period, and then we made a strategical change into the white mining, which is called today. So we're involved in four main industries, which is salt, potash, gypsum, and oil shale. So these are the soft rock, what you call today, or white mining. And yes, so from there on we further developed ourselves, and we also spread out into other industries. So SMAG in itself is an engineering company, so we were involved also in crushing systems, stacker reclaiming systems for ports. And well, over the years this is what happened. So right now what we do today, we're involved more in grabs for manipulation of granules in ports for unloading and reloading of ships. Then we have the military side where we make antennas for communication systems. And then there's us again with the mining industry, special vehicles and surface mining equipment. So yeah, I'm involved in the sales in this company. So I get to travel around the world, meet different customers, see different cultures of course, and yes, and try to explain the customer that we have a very good piece of equipment, and they should buy from us.
So, what do you like most about your job?
Oh, I like that you're not always stuck onto one chair. So you have many types of jobs where you go to the office from 9 o'clock or 5 o'clock in the morning. And in this industry, it's not like this. You can be tomorrow in Estonia, you can be the day after in USA, or you can be in Spain, or who knows, maybe in the future in Greece. And there's a big change. So, and it's not a daily routine. So this is what I really like about it, and the interaction with different cultures. I really enjoy this.
Okay, so we know that you are not from Germany.
Yes, this is correct.
Okay. Where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Great Britain, or from England. I was born in Manchester, and at a very young age, I moved out to London, where I grew up and went to university there. I studied mechanical engineering, and I was finished with my studies in 2001. And from this time, then I started traveling around the world in different industries. I was not always here in this company by SMAG. I started out a long time ago with cranes. So I was also with a German company, with Gottwald, which makes mobile harbor cranes. And then after that, I moved to Krambo, Eberswalde, Kuhne cranes, and now here for SMAG almost 10 years. This year is 10 years that I am now for Nordmeyer SMAG.
So was it a big change for you when you moved to Germany?
It was a big change because before moving to Germany, I was living in South America for 5 years. Before that, I was after I finished my studies in England, I moved to South America. This is why I lost my English accent. I have more like a, I don't know what I can call my accent, but I hope you guys can understand me. I moved to South America and I learned some Spanish in Chile. Then after 4 years in Chile, I lived in Brazil 1 year. So yes, it has been a big culture change every time that I move, in regards to relationship with people and how they react. It's every time a cultural change, getting adapted to the culture, learning the language, of course, and the main reason why I moved to Germany was because it was the opportunity I had to get back to Europe. After living in South America for such a long time, and I always look for new challenges. So learning a new language like German was a big challenge, and it was, in the end, something I do not regret. I'm very happy here now. I'm living now in Germany since almost 17 years now. I have my family, I have wife and 3 children, so a big family now. Under consideration in Germany, because Germany, the main way to go is normally with 2 children maximum, but yes, I have 3.
So did you already know how to speak German when you moved to Germany? And
No, I knew no word. I couldn't speak 1 word German. So I arrived to Germany. I could only say eins, zwei, drei and ein Bier. This was maybe my only language. So it was 1, 2, 3 and 1 beer. That was the only thing I could say in German. Of course, a couple of bad words, but I will not say this today. And and after it took me about 6 to 7 months to learn the language. I was not the youngest person anymore. So as you get older, it does become more difficult to learn a new language. So like I said, it took about 6 to 8 months to learn the language.
And it was
yes.
It was difficult for you to get used to these new conditions and this new country.
The language was a big barrier at the beginning. I think at the beginning, if you have difficulties with the language, if you live in a small village where I arrived, then you had some difficulties. I think if I had moved to a bigger city, it would have been easier. Because if you move to bigger cities like Berlin or Frankfurt or maybe Düsseldorf or something in this area, or Hamburg, a lot of people do speak English, and there the language barrier is not so big. So if you try to speak to someone, they'll say, "Oh, you don't speak German," and you're like, "Yeah, okay." So then they'll switch to the English language.
Why did you choose this kind of profession?
Oh, okay. Well, the thing is, I studied mechanical engineering in university, so there's a lot of areas which you can go into, and with mechanical engineering, the world doesn't move without mechanical engineering. You need engineers everywhere. So this is important for you guys too in the future. So if you want to go and you want to have a sure job in the future, do something with engineering, or technical. My choice was mechanical engineering, which opened a variety of doors for me. And this is why actually my very first job in England was actually a design engineer. I was designing chassis and under chassis for fire vehicles, for airport fire vehicles, so very big ones. But it was not the direction I wanted to go, so I started looking for different options, and I landed with the cranes, and slowly I developed into more of a programming affinity. So in the end, I started doing more and more programming for cranes, and and then you start climbing the ladder. At some point, you get to a proficiency level that then they say, okay, you know what, we need a manager, we need a modernization manager, and so it progressed. So after doing this a couple of years and modernizing cranes and bring them up to a high technological level, then it's a natural progression to start going into other job areas. And if you're hungry or if you're willing to change your direction and you're open to it, then of course, other opportunities will arise. And that's when it started for me in South America. I became, with a very young age, a service manager for the complete South American continent. And then I moved to Germany and continued being a service manager, and now sales manager for heavy equipment. So always stayed with the heavy engineering side of things.
Okay. What is the name of the university that you studied at?
Oh, I studied in Kingston University, which is in the west side of London. Actually, I started with a technical diploma. So I did a technical diploma in mechanical and electrical engineering. And from there on, there was a natural progress where you could choose, okay, I can go into, start immediately working as a technician, or you could progress one step higher to go to engineering university. And this was the step I took. And then in Kingston University, I finished my studies as a mechanical engineer.
Okay. You mentioned before that as a sales manager, you are traveling a lot.
Correct.
Is there an experience that you will never forget while you were on a travel?
Actually, every travel has unique experiences. So, so when you travel, you have different experiences, good ones, bad ones. With the airlines, you have experiences. You have experiences with hotels. Last week I was in the USA, and there was a very strong wind storm, and I was working on my laptop. There was a power cut on all the hotels. So yeah, so it's every time a different experience. You know, with airplanes over the COVID period and due to reduction of personnel in the airports, there was a lot of problems with delays, getting your baggage. Oh, it was difficult. It was difficult times, and you know, you had to wear a mask on the aircraft, and you're sitting 10 hours, 8 hours in an airplane with a mask on. Oh, it was difficult conditions, but it's going back to today now, where it's getting back to normal. Last week when I was traveling, no masks, everything is back to normal. So, like I said, every time you travel, you will have a different experience, good ones, bad ones. You will have to expect this. Go with it with an open mentality, because only this way you can tackle it in a better way. If you're always, just closed with just a closed mentality, leaving no open options, stay home.
What is the most significant moment of your career?
Significant moment in my career. Oh, there have been a couple. Trying to think. Well, actually, I would say the change coming over to Germany. That was a big change for me in my career, because it has been like a stepping stone to climb up the ladders of the hierarchy from different companies, and learning how different companies work, and the mentality of different companies also. Because this was also an interesting experience for me. When I came to Germany, I came to a very far east corner of Germany, which where you could see that there was still an impregnation from the separation from the eastern German side of Germany. You could still feel the presence of this mentality change, or mentality separation, let's put it that way. So this was an interesting experience to live with and to see it, because I was also able not only to stay there, because I moved to this company, which is on the west side of Germany, let's put it that way. If you still consider that the separation was there, if you consider it will still be there, and this mentality change was interesting to experience. I would say this has been one of the most interesting experiences that I've had here in Germany. Yeah.
Okay. So during the COVID lockdown,
Yes.
What was the situation of your job? Was it hard for you to work or?
Yeah, it was a difficult period for everybody, I think. I mean, for us also too. We had long periods of production time where we had to stop the complete production of our factory because there was a lot of a high infection rate. So you would come in the mornings, or we had to come in separate times in the mornings. So yes, it was an interesting period. Like I said, it was it caused great havoc to us, and due to this COVID situation, there was a big breakdown in the delivery chain for components. So this means that we cannot also finish machinery in the proposed time. So we had to explain to the clients, because of the COVID situation, we have to deliver. We're not getting gearboxes, we're not getting valves, we're not getting electrical cables, so a lot of the machinery, you could see it sometimes was staying on the workshop floor for 20 weeks, or 30 weeks, which is normally the period in which the machine should be delivered. And then you had also the effects of not only the production being stopped, but also the personnel in the offices. They had to come in different times, or a lot of home office period. I was affected by the COVID with the traveling, of course. This was reduced a great deal for me. So it was also a positive change, because we never used to use this kind of video conferencing before. The video conferencing system was vamped up, let's put it that way. The video, because before we used to just rely on personal contact and personal meetings, because I find when you have a heavy piece of equipment or a very specialized piece of equipment, it's sometimes easier to explain this face to face rather over a video conference and showing pictures. So yeah, it was a difficult period. Even I was affected twice by the COVID. The first time I had it when it just came out in 2020. I was down for 4 weeks. I was really, really sick. And then after that I had it one more time last year in March, but it only affected me for 3 days, but I was out of the office for 7 days. So yeah, not only for me, but also for us as a company or as a group and as a team, it was a complicated period. So yeah.
Okay. So what would you say?
I have a question. Yes, am I allowed to ask you questions too?
Yes. Okay. Yes.
Okay. But okay. I wanted to ask you. Are you a technical school, or just first of all a normal school up to a certain high school year, and then you go to university or technical? How is it, please?
We are a normal school. School system doesn't work the same in Greece as it does in other countries.
Yes, well, here you have it's like in England also. It's called, you have a primary school, which is the school until you're 10 or 11, and then after this you go to high school, and this goes until you're 15 or 16, and then you go, then you choose your area which you want to specialize in. So you take mathematics, physics, chemistry, or English if you want to, or German if you want to go into literature, and then you can go to university.
Yes, it's something like that here. Like there is primary school, it has 6 classes, something like middle school, 3 classes, and then high school, 3 more. And then you choose, in high school you choose where you want to go.
Oh, okay. And you're in the period of just before finishing the high school level then, you guys?
Middle school.
No, we are on the 3rd year of middle school.
You're in the 3rd year of middle school. Okay.
So what would you say to a kid in our age who is interested in engineering?
If you want to study engineering, well, first of all, enjoy the school. This is very important. It's not all about studies. You have to have your fun too. This is very important. But engineering it takes some dedication. Of course, it's not like you have to study like a doctor, 7 years. I don't know how much the period is in Greece, but I studied Normally it would have been 5 years, but I made it in 4. I compacted the last year into the 4th year, so I could finish earlier. I was desperate to get finished in my young age, but yeah, I would not recommend this. I mean, take your time. If you want to study engineering, I would recommend it for anyone who likes or has an affinity for heavy machinery, vehicles, automotive industry. At least this is one of the countries where you will find, or you will be finding, a job position, because the industry at the moment is looking for people. Engineering, you will always find a job. It doesn't matter where you are in the world. You won't be rich, but you will have a good life. And this I can recommend to anybody.
Okay. Do you think that someone like you can work as a digital nomad in this kind of job?
I didn't understand very well the question, Pαντελής, sorry.
Okay. Do you know what a digital nomad is?
No.
Okay. It's when someone moves to another country.
Yes.
And works digitally with, for example, Nord Myers Mag. They get paid equally, like you will be paid if you work in Germany, but they work in another country digitally.
Oh, okay, like a home office type of job, but yes. Well, I'm trying to think if it's possible, because the thing is, we have a factory floor right next door. We have engineering and we have a factory floor right next to it. So everybody is required to be present, because you have a working production in our factory. Then you have to be, if you're in engineering, of course. If you work in a digital area, that's a good question. That's a good question. I'm trying to think what we can do from a distance that can be involved with our machinery. Because I'm thinking even about programming the machines, because there's a lot of PLC programming and how the machines are moving and everything, but you also have to be present, because everything has to be positioned with safety switches and so on. You have to see what's happening when you're doing this kind of job. I think the only thing where you can do something like this would be with accounting, where you don't have to be actually present. So you can really then run a digital office where you can get all the invoicing, all the billing and everything done digitally from a computer. I think this is the only thing that I see that can be done digitally from my point of view, or from the point of view from our company.
Okay.
So let's move on to some personal questions.
Oh, okay.
What was your dream job when you were young?
Actually, yeah, my dream job was I wanted to be an Air Force pilot. So this was not possible because my parents was actually absolutely against war. So yeah, I have to scratch that idea. So then because I wanted to keep close to the aircraft technology, this is when I decided to study aeronautical engineering. And this was actually very funny, because the first year of engineering here, or in England, was a joint first year between mechanical, production and aeronautical engineering. And when I started this first year and this common year, and then as you start studying and you start realizing, wow, if I only study aeronautical engineering, you'll be limiting the doors that open to you. So this is why I chose to go ahead with mechanical engineering. And yeah, that's where I am today.
Do you miss your country you grew up in, England?
There are things that you miss. There are small things that you miss. It's just the small things. It's the weather I don't miss. It used to rain a lot. I was visiting my brother a couple of weeks ago, and he still lives in England, near Liverpool. Sorry, and the weather has changed in due to the global warming, it has had some positive changes. Let's put it that way in the British weather. So it doesn't rain as much as it used to. You have milder winters, and that's one of the things which I would be missing right now today. But having said that, here in Germany the weather hasn't been that bad. So, and due to the globalization, I guess there were stuff that I used to miss. I mean, if you asked Germany 17 years ago, I would like a bowl of Weetabix, they would look at you, what the hell is that then? And this was like a breakfast cereal with 2 kind of wheat biscuits that you poured a little bit of milk on it and a little bit of sugar, and you know, you would eat away at it. But yeah, slowly these kind of things are now appearing here in Germany too. And so yeah, I would say that what I would miss the most in England is being close to my brothers. Yeah.
Okay. So, what was the situation in Germany during the COVID lockdown?
Oh, that was a difficult time. During the COVID lockdown, there were many restaurants, shops closed. You had a limited time period, or you had to. This was. I have never lived something like this before. It was almost like private shopping. You know, you could. You had to book a time when you wanted to go shopping in a mall, or you wanted to go get just a normal shirt. You had to ask for like going to the doctors. Yes, you can come on Wednesday at 12 p.m. and there you have maybe 20 minutes time, and then you have to leave the shop. So these were the kind of activities which were going on during the COVID lockdown, and but it was also good because I had a lot of time to spend with my family. Because I was not traveling, I was able to work a little bit from home also, and so it was very good to bring me close back to my family, because the year before that I was traveling a lot. I spent maybe 140,000 miles on a plane rather than being at home, so it was a big change for me, a positive change. Yeah, and also what also changed was also you didn't have to go to the doctor anymore. So you could just call the doctor and say, you know, I have these symptoms, and you would get a receipt over the internet or email, print it out, go to the pharmacy with again, you can come on Thursday at 1 p.m. go and pick up your medication, for example, and this was the kind of lockdowns that was happening. Supermarkets, I'm trying to remember, there were big lockdowns in the supermarkets. No, there wasn't. But there was a lot of there was a limited amount of people who could go into a supermarket. So you'd have a limit from 20, depending on the square size, the square meters of a supermarket. You're limited to 20, 30, maybe 40 people per time or at one time in a supermarket, and of course with a mask and disinfected hands and disinfector trolley, and so yeah. So it was strange. It was a strange period, I would say. And the good thing is also my kids were a lot at home, so we had a lot of homeschooling and a lot of digital learning to do with them, teach them how to even use a laptop or a tablet, which they never used before. So this was a very interesting experience for them too, I guess. But yeah, for my kids it was also a difficult time. I can only thank God that we have, well, at that time was only 2 kids, and they were pretty good, so they could play with each other, and you know, they could, because also the contact with other people was reduced, was not allowed. You couldn't even meet with your neighbor over the wall. This was not allowed. So it was very strange. It was very strange. How about on your side? How was the COVID period on your side? Was it as restricted here at your place like here in Germany?
No, it was not as restricted as Germany. Like we could go out by sending an SMS to a certain number that it sometimes will be checked by police, and yeah.
Okay. Look, I can even remember, wait a minute, I can even show you something. I still carry it with me. I still got my digital EU certificate for my COVID injections. which is actually not obligational to carry anymore. So yeah.
Yes.
Guys, I don't know how much time we have. Would you? What I can do, if you like, I can open the link on my telephone and I can show you a small tour of our factory floor, if you like. You can hear me, yes?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so it won't take that long. It's maybe about a 5-minute walk, maybe less.
Okay.
I will turn the. Let me see if I can switch the camera around. Have videos and. Here we go. So now we'll go into the workshop floor where we produce our equipment. So the first section that we will see is where we assemble and build the communication systems for military. I hope you can hear me.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. So these are the kind of antennas for communication systems. So we have different types built on modular trucks. Then we have types built inside of container systems. Then we have the smaller versions, mobile versions for all-terrain and for being pulled by a jeep or a small truck.
Okay.
So you can imagine that, these buildings are pretty old. They're standing here since 100 years, more than 100 years now.
That's a long time.
But okay, we have been modernizing, of course, with the period of time. It's not that everything is still 100 years old, you know. We got new cranes and new overhead cranes. So here we have a little bit of quality control. So here we receive some of the components. This is, for example, going to be a grab for taking rubbish for burning rubbish plants and so on.
Yes.
Okay.
So here we have a delivery of different types of cylinders. And then now we come to our set. Well, this is still with the antennas in the grab sections, and then when we sweep all the way to the left, here we start with the underground equipment. So this is a crane arm, which is for this vehicle in the background, which is coming up now. This is going to be a crane vehicle for underground, for building conveyor belts, assembling crushing systems, and so on. So as you can see, it's still very, very, a lot of handwork still involved. It's nothing automized. You know, one electrical guy is pulling all the electrical cables, then you have mechanical guys welding, hydraulic guys putting valves together, and so on. So let me see. Now we continue now to another section, which is involving the surface drilling equipment. So in this section, all the drilling masts are put together. So this is one mast for a 18-ton capacity vehicle. This means the 18 tons, it can pull 18 tons of drill rods out of a water well or a geothermal well. So that's the drill motor. Okay, of course it's in the wrong position, but it'll be looking like this in the end. And then we come again now back to the underground section. So now you see a couple of empty. Oh, here, actually one machine was standing here in this empty bay.
Okay.
So we have different bays. The vehicle that left the factory was one just like this one, which is an auger drill machine.
That's awesome.
And here we have the next machine being built. So this is how we get the steel frames are coming prepared already from a provider, and then we start assembling. The axles are coming also from a very well-known German company, which is called Kessler. This is assembled here, but all of this is all handwork. Every pipe, every hose, every connection is all done by hand. all the placement of this is done by hand. They're welded them here in the factory because every machine has a different position for its special valves and so on.
Amazing.
So let's go to an interesting machine. So this one is going to be a face drill or a jumbo drill, for example. So here you can see that there's a cabin, there's a turning table, and this is what it looks like when it's naked, and there's nothing on it, and in the end, this is what it will look like when it's finished. So yeah, like I said, a lot of handwork involved. Another auger drill. And then we have a special area with where we have guys working on fine mechanical components, assembly of electrical motors, assembly of gearboxes, and this is all happening on this table. So there's one specialized mechanical guy working on fine mechanical components. So he's assembling like pipe handling devices. And okay, I guess he has his own filing system, but yeah. So I'll show you one more area, which is where we keep all our spare parts and our flow of components when we're having production. Here we have an oil bay, for example, all with their own bathtub. Let's put it this way, like a little tub, so that we can avoid any oil spills in the factory. So yeah, it's every time you have to water a lot. So yeah. So here we start with all our spare parts. So spare parts, and we have rows and rows of shelves where we keep different type of components, pipes, bearings, electrical motors, drill rods, anything you can imagine. It's anything mechanical, at least you can imagine. Distribution gearboxes. You have all these components just being waiting to be commissioned for the next project, or there's just a continuation of sales of spare parts and components which are going to different customers around the world. So let me see if I can turn the camera back to me. There we go. So now I'm back. So let me see if I can find a quiet corner that we can continue talking.
Okay.
So to be honest, this it reminds me of Lego that I built when I was younger, and
like little mechano sets.
Yes, exactly.
I'll steal someone else's conference room here from the production team. There we go. Now we can continue. Okay, guys.
Okay, it was really interesting and of course amazing.
This is the interesting thing. There are more and more less traditional German companies which still exist or which have such a long track assembling or building and designing their own pieces of equipment, and this makes us pretty much unique because we have a engineering department which consists of about 34 different people, going from documentation all the way to hydraulics, mechanical, electrical, and programming systems. So so we have a big variety of opportunities in our company.
It was really, really interesting.
I'm happy that you liked it. I'm really happy.
Okay, let's get back to the questions. you mentioned before that you spent some time of your life in South America.
Yes.
Tell us about some experiences there. Were you there for a job, or you decided to just stay?
Yes, well, it's a mixture of two things. Well, because I'm kind of a mix. I'm not only pure British bred. My mother comes from Chile, so this made it also easy for me to go over there. So and of course professionally also, I started working there, like I said, for a German company called Gottwald. They make mobile harbor cranes, and it was also a country with mixed experiences, good ones, bad ones. You will have them also in some time in your life, but you have to go through them. And the good experiences was outweighs the bad ones. That's the main thing. I would say about 99% was all good. So I enjoyed my time there. I never had a really bad experience that I could say that affected my life in one way or in a negative way in one way or another. So, but I'm also, I think, a very positive person. So this makes it easier for accepting defeats, and you learn from them, and you gain experience from them, and you just start looking at life in a different perspective. So yeah.
Okay, that's really nice to hear. So, have you ever visited Greece? If so, what was your favorite part of the journey?
Yes, I have been to Greece. Yes, I have been to Telas in my life, and further south. So please don't get angry at me if I say it wrong. I was in
Chalkidiki, maybe?
Yeah. Yes. So it's further south in one of the fingers, south from Greece. I was there in this area, and I spent a wonderful time. I have met very nice people there. I have had very good food there, and I enjoyed going to the beaches. And you have great weather and great olives, good wine also. So yes, that has been one of the places I have been in Greece. And actually, I just booked my holiday with my kids, and I'm going now to the same place almost, but it's called Halkidiki.
Yes. Exactly.
Yes. Okay. Yes, but with H in the front. So yes. So I'll be going there in October.
Wonderful. So, if you're okay with that, do you want to speak about your family? Your kids? Are they boys, girls?
Yes, yes, okay, yeah, we can talk about that. So, yeah, I have a boy. He's actually turning 10 in May, and he's finishing his 4th year in the normal school, and he'll be going to high school next year in September, or this year in September, I mean, next year for the school year next year.
Okay.
Yes, then I have my little daughter. She's turning 7 on the 8th of March. Her name is Helen, and she's been going to school since last year, September. And yeah, I guess both of them, they enjoy school very much. Sometimes they get a little bit too much homework, but that's the opinion of the parents sometimes. Sorry, teacher in the background. And then, yes, and recently in October last year we had a little young boy. He's called Anton, and yeah, he's brought back a lot of fun into the family. We have two great children, and now the third one. All of them are great. Yeah.
Great.
So, how would you describe your childhood memories?
Oh, I had great childhood memories. I had a very good relationship with my father, and I still have. Let's put it that way. He's still alive. So with my father, we undertook. I think it's his fault that I ended up doing engineering, because we did a lot of we had a lot of doing automotive stuff. My father would build up minis, and we would tune minis to make racing cars. So I think this is where the affinity started with the vehicles, and I had a great childhood. So that was one of the positive things I had. The other thing, what my father also insisted on, that I did a lot of sport, which doesn't look like today, you know. It's the work, you know, the workload kind of takes away the free time, and any free time you have, you want to spend with your family. So, but in my young age, I used to spend a lot of time on my bicycle, and I used to do a lot of racing on bicycle, and so I can't say I had bad memories from my childhood. It was all very positive. Yeah. My father also gave me the opportunity to see a little bit of the world, and took me to Italy, took me to France and to Spain, and he always insisted on being open to all other cultures, seeing other cultures, and that the person does not forget where he comes from, and what good opportunities you have in your life, and you should really enjoy them and be happy about them.
Okay, so do you have any hobbies?
Yes, apart from my children, yes, I do have other hobbies. One of them is my motorcycle in the summertime, so I spend more time on my motorcycle than most time that I can when I have the chance. And my other hobby is actually playing some games online, sometimes with and that's how we met, didn't we?
Yes, exactly. Okay, so as you mentioned, you play video games. So, what's your favorite video game?
Well, I have two favorites. So one is PUBG where we met, and the other one is Destiny 2,
Okay.
where I have another team of colleagues or friends which we're very close. We get together also not only online but also in our private lives. His name is Hagen, and he lives maybe about 30 minutes away from my home, which was also very surprising and very convenient, let's put it that way. And he's also a motorcycle rider, and not only that, he's also a photographer and an artist. So we get together and philosophize about science fiction and how the world will turn around with artificial intelligence and all this kind of stuff. So yeah.
Okay, and so what's your favorite food?
Oh, I have many favorite foods, but my absolute favorite, which I like to barbecue a lot.
Okay.
So it's a tradition that at home, when I'm at home, of course, that every Sunday we make a barbecue. This is an obligation. So this, you could say, is also one of my hobbies, and also it's not only for my family but also for my wife's family and friends. So we get together a lot of the Sundays of the year. It doesn't matter if it's raining, snowing, thunderstorm, I still make a barbecue. So so yeah, even my wife says, William, I think you're the only person in the world at this moment under a big thunderstorm that's making a barbecue and doing some steaks. Like, yep, that's me.
And lastly, we want to ask if you listen to music.
Oh yes, I do. I love to listen to music, but yeah. Maybe you won't maybe know any of this stuff, but maybe your teachers will. I listen a lot to Pink Floyd, a lot of Queen. I listen to a lot of the old style of music, the classics. Pet Shop Boys. I like Coldplay a lot, and REM. So I don't know. Maybe your teacher Pantelias.
Παναγιώτης.
Panagiotis, yes. I saw that he also had a little bit of white beard like me, so he's probably we're about the same generation like me, so it can be that he has also a similar taste.
Okay, that's the end of the interview. We hope you enjoyed it. You are really amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for everything.
I enjoy spending my time sometimes in the evening with you guys, and thank you so much for inviting me. It has been an honor being also to have the chance to speak at your school or your podcast. So thank you so much for your invitation.
Thank you so much.